What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pro Sports Room. I'm here with the usual co-host Caleb.
Yeah.
My name is Mike, and our special guest, the Adam Schefter of Pro Sports Room, DBG, aka Dustin.
What's going on?
Dustin here is our draft guru, our
White Adam Schefter.
white Adam Schefter.
We all know Adam Schefter's.
Yeah.
He's not white.
Yeah. According to Facebook, his name is Black Adam Schefter. So, you know.
Oh no, there's a bunch of different ones.
Black
Yeah.
Skip Bayless.
No, like Black Adam Schefter. There's Mexican Adam Schefter.
Oh my
There's a bunch
gosh.
of them.
Well, we are here on pretty much the last week of preseason. So we're just going to run through some of the topics that we got going on for you guys today. We thank you guys for tuning in as usual. So let's just get started with it. Should preseason be shortened? Or just like if you could find a different alternative for preseason, what would it be? The main reason why a lot of people are starting to like get upset about preseason is because there's 4 ACL injuries in the last week. So, I mean, should preseason be shortened? Should you not have preseason? I'll go ahead and let you guys talk. And then I was listening to NFL radio yesterday, and I'll kind of tell you what they were talking about, how they were doing it.
I'm gonna let y'all talk first because I have like mixed feelings about it. So I'm gonna let one of y'all try to persuade me.
Well, let's let our
in the
guest
right direction.
Let's let our guest go first.
The whole purpose for me, I personally wouldn't shorten preseason. The only way you shorten is if you're adding games, and I think that as a fan, I would love to see more games. But at the same time, these guys getting paid is, at least compared to basketball and baseball players, next to nothing.
Yeah.
So, but the main thing is for preseason is a lot of this is for guys who are on the roster bubble, undrafted guys trying to catch on somewhere in special teams. So the preseason is very much necessary for these guys to showcase their skills, to try to catch on to a job, get picked up to a practice squad. So, I mean, you got 32 teams with rosters before final cut downs to 53 of about 90 players. So you have 40, 47, 50 players from each roster that are going to get the axe, and only a handful get put onto a practice squad. So I think the preseason is necessary. I mean, the injuries are just part of the game.
Now, when I was listening to NFL radio, which I don't know who I was listening to, and I didn't realize there was an NFL radio on Sirius XM until I was just hit the spin button.
NFL is everywhere.
I love NFL radio so far, but they were talking about preseason yesterday. So there's like a lot of things that I'll jump into, but they said that the league should look into having 2 preseason games and 2 scrimmages. Like the first 2 preseason games, you know, you go through that, and then the last 2 should just be scrimmages, kind of like joint practices, but you should kind of like the whistle gets blown faster, you know, once contact is made, they're like, all right, look, you're done. There's no need in slamming you down or anything like that.
Yeah.
2, they said that they should be looking into potentially doing, if you wanted to do 2 preseason games and add 2 more regular season games, then you should add another bye week and have a bye week at the beginning of the year and have a bye week at the end of the year, instead of going week 3. All right, it's our bye week. Can't wait to make a 14-game stretch.
Yeah.
You know, because then you kind of like are going through that, and then if you make the playoffs, then it's even more. If you don't have a first round bye, then they even said, you know, they brought up a point of having like an NFL, kind of like an NFL Europa again, but instead of having it in Europe, have it here. So basically trying to have like an NFL D-League.
A D-League, yeah.
Which, that sounds like a good idea, but then when he was talking about it, he made the point that those players are still like on contract and getting paid, and the league would have to actually sponsor that. So, and then he made another good point, like instead of, because then like if one of those guys gets hurt and he has to make like a call up to, you know, the A team or the B team or whatever, and you can, we'll call it B League, and if you have to make it up to the A team, then, you know, if your B team gets hurt and your A team gets hurt, then you're kind of in trouble from there. because like in soccer you can do that. You can call your B team up to your A team, but he said if you did two preseason games and then for 2 scrimmages, you didn't have to pay like a season ticket, but you had to pay for like concession and parking. Would people still go? And I'm like, well, it's a free seat, and it's not like it's going to be like, it doesn't have to be a real game, but it's kind of like going to open practice on training camp.
Yeah.
People still go, and because afterwards people are going to come out, like the players will be able to go out and they'll most likely sign autographs and things like that. So I feel like if you're able to make it like adjustable for fans, you're still going to get money from concessions and from people showing up. I think that like the more and more I think about it, if you did 2 preseason games and then 2 scrimmages, or just 1 preseason game, 1 scrimmage, and then 2 regular season games, I don't think that'd be an issue. But it's like the ACL injuries and all these other injuries, they're not just coming because they're playing too much.
It's going to happen, though. That's the thing.
The thing is, these injuries are coming from what kind of shoes they're wearing, what kind of socks they're wearing, what kind of turf they're running on. If they're running on turf, they're running on AstroTurf, if they're running on natural grass. Because nobody has the same, we don't have just like one basic type of field.
Yeah.
It's all these different types of field. And the guy was explaining to it, if you're running on cleats that are like 7 studs and you put your foot in that ground on Astro or like on turf, it's not coming back up until you release that pressure. Like you're not going to be able to make a move until you release that pressure off that foot. So if you plant your foot on that ground and you try to make a move and you don't release that pressure, you're going to blow your knee out because you're trying to make a move for no reason because you can't move. So, I mean, like, I'm not saying that they should come out with everyone has to wear the same cleats or, you know, everyone should have the same field, but there has to be, like, there's all these different league kind of rules that are going around and policies to help with helmets and, you know, concussions and everything like that. But it's like, I don't know how much more you can really do. But I like 2 preseason and 2 scrimmages with an extra bye week, just to give them more rest.
My thing is,
An extra game.
is people got to realize that not everybody's going to be happy.
No.
So either keep it the same. I like the D League idea because, I mean, every major sport has a D League.
Right, and even if you do a D League, and they brought this up too, you know how much we hate I don't know how he is, but you know how much we hate Thursday night football.
Yeah.
We think it's just atrocious.
It is. It's a bad product.
Because the away team doesn't get to practice at all. You play on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
You rest on Monday. Tuesday, you're really kind of like, all right, let's just go over game plan. Wednesday, you're on a plane.
The only good thing that came out of Thursday night football was color rush, and it still wasn't enough.
So what if you did the D League on Thursday night? Then you would still have football on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Ticket prices would be like $10. You're still winning.
Well, I mean, I could see it either, like I said, keep it the same, get a D League, or like, I really like the NFL Europe idea. Why not? I mean, you know,
I would do NFL Canada before I would do NFL.
and that's
or
that's
NFL
exactly what
Mexico.
I was fixing to say. Is it would be really hard to do because NFL's a $1 billion company and like it's thriving right now. But why not try to do a partnership with the CFL? You know what I mean? I mean, the CFL's already there. It's already established. They've got a pretty decent fan base. That would open up more expansion teams for the NFL too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in all honesty, I don't like the London idea because it's going to be a train wreck as far as
Travel.
the time.
The logistics of it is
So,
terrible.
my ideal situation would be to do a partnership with the CFL. Send your practice squad over to there to fill those teams up. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, more players would end up getting played. You would have more people having the
And-
ability
and
to
you
make
would
a
get-
chance.
And you would get to thoroughly, study their gameplay.
And not only that, then you would get like, I mean, especially for this guy, a guy from 6th round of Mississippi State who was a terrible corner. Now you get to realize, oh man, this kid's actually balling out in
Exactly.
CFL or D League. he's actually going to be able to make a call up to the Pittsburgh Steelers or something.
Exactly. That way, like, say, like right now, somebody saw somebody in the CFL. They can't just go and grab them because they're under contract with the CFL. So that they would have to break the contract, go through all this legal stuff, because I'm sure there would be a lot of people that would grab players from the CFL.
Oh, yeah.
Be a similar situation as when you in the NBA you draft the players from Europe. You had to buy out their contracts.
Exactly.
I like having, like, I know this is off topic, but I like having 2 bye weeks.
Yeah.
And then even if you did, like you said, more expansion teams, you're going to have more expansion teams to actually have more games and more bye weeks.
Well, with that idea, I don't think it'd be necessarily expansion teams. Like, the CFL would be the D League.
Right, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
You could add, like, with the amount of players that you could potentially be having more of, you could add an extra 2 teams.
Yeah. Okay.
And add an extra 1 game or 2 games and add an extra bye week, and then you're fine.
Yeah. That's what you're saying.
So, I like those ideas. When I was listening to it yesterday, I was like, man, these are really good ideas. Why have I never thought about it? And then I was like, because the whole time they're talking about it, I was like, why not just make a D League? And the guy called, he was like, there should be like an NFL Europa again. And I was like, D League.
You never played on NFL Europe, right?
Kurt Warner.
That's right. That's right.
He went
Best
NFL
quarterback.
Europa, CFL,
Bag boy.
Bag Boy, Super Bowl winner.
Greatest
Oh,
Ram
jeez.
quarterback of all time. I don't care what people say. I'm bringing up quarterbacks from the 50s. And
Norm Van Brocklin.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, buddy.
If
you
your
wouldn't have
last name is
lasted.
Broccoli, no one liked you.
Brocklin.
All right, so we'll do our NFC East breakdown. As you guys know, I usually try to bring up the teams that they play against this year, but I always get it wrong. So I didn't even
try this
I
one.
didn't even try this one. So we're gonna break down NFC East, kind of like who we think is how the ranking is gonna pop out, and just kind of like assess and kind of debate on what we got going on. So I'll start first for the NFC East. I have the Giants at 1, Eagles at 2, Cowboys at 3, Redskins at 4. Giants, I mean, they have 3 dominant receivers. They have a really good secondary, a really good defense.
Very slept on defense.
Very slept on defense. The run game is like a somewhat of a question mark. I mean, Paul Perkins is going to be good, but it's like, all right, we don't really know because the Giants have always had a really good run game. I mean, with Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw, Tiki Barber. I mean, they've always had a really good run game, but this year it's kind of like, all right, well, we're just gonna see how you do.
Yeah.
The Eagles, they're easily a 10-win team with their roster. The only question mark on them is their secondary.
Yeah.
Their front 7 is amazing. The Cowboys are gonna slump, but that's just because they didn't improve their defense. I mean, their defensive secondary at all.
It got worse.
It got worse.
A lot worse.
I'm not saying Dak and Zeke are gonna have a sophomore slump. I'm just saying that they're not gonna struggle. I mean, they're gonna put up maybe a little bit less than what they did last year, but it's like I said, that defense didn't get any better.
They're probably going to be like the Rams, like reverse roles. Like, our offense was on and off the field so fast, our defense looked bad, even though it was good. Now it's going to be, even though the Cowboys' offense is good, their defense is going to, give up so many points, it's going to make their offense look bad.
And then the Redskins, I mean, I don't know why I have the Redskins so low because they really did somewhat decent last year, but I think Kirk Cousins is ready to get out of there, so I just think that he's just going to be like, all right, I don't have to perform. I don't want to be here. I'm just going to show up and see how this works. I mean, then again, they got rid of a majority of their receivers and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure.
But you got to think also with Kirk Cousins, he does want out of Washington, but he's playing for a contract this year.
Yeah,
So-
but he's playing to go to San Francisco, and San Francisco will give him the
He's
contract.
playing to go to LA.
He ain't going to LA. He's going to San Fran. All right, who wants to go next?
You go ahead and go.
Honestly, I have a very similar list. I like the Giants' defense, like you said. It's arguably a top 5 unit. The linebacking core is a little shaky, but They got Olivier Vernon, Paul, and Jason Pierre-Paul coming off the edge. Snacks Harrison inside.
Oh, I remember
Stuffing the
Snacks.
run, yeah, you know.
Got all one thumb.
Landon Collins has evolved into one of the best safeties in the game.
Yes.
Prince Amukamara is really, really
Nope.
good.
He's not with
Nope.
them no more.
Oh, he went to Jacksonville.
Not
My
with
bad.
them no more either.
No.
Where
He's with
is
the
he?
Browns.
Oh, God.
Yeah, poor guy.
Oh, poor guy.
They got Roger Scramarty and Janoris Jenkins.
I forgot
Jack
about
Rabbit.
those two.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, those two are great.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Jack Rabbit's the truth.
They're three deep. They're deep at receiver. They'll be able to move Marshall around as a red zone threat.
Oh, yeah.
Evan Ingram will take that offense to another level inside the red zone.
Yeah.
Eli's gonna have plenty of toys to play with, so I like them to finish first in that division. I also like the Eagles second. They were one of my sleeper teams that I wrote about last night actually, and front sevens arguably to me is a top 5 unit. They're deep at pass rusher. I really like Carson Wentz. They gave him plenty of new weapons.
Because he started out 6-0 last year, and then that offensive line started to fall apart, and he
Yep.
didn't even have any offensive weapons last year.
Yep.
Just think, Jeff Fisher could have drafted him last year.
Yeah. Jason Peters is back. He's healthy. They get, Lane Johnson back. I guess he's decided to stop doing steroids, so that'll be good for them.
For now.
Zach Ertz, a very underrated tight end.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey. Torrey Smith's a deep threat.
Yeah.
And we're
Nelson,
fixing to see who wins his
Yeah.
arm this year.
Nelson Aguilar, from what I've read, finally seems like he gets it. Maybe we'll see how that works out.
Poor
He's
guy.
been a absolute bust so far, and
Yeah.
I actually like Washington to finish third in this division. They added Zach Brown in the middle. They had a very big hole at linebacker. They had Zach Brown. They had Jonathan Allen, who should have been a top 5 pick if not for some concerns over his shoulder. That defense wasn't terrible versus the pass last year, but they couldn't stop a Little League team from running the ball.
Yeah.
They did lose Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson, but they had Terrell Pryor, who's still getting better.
Yeah, this is a make or break year for him.
Quietly though, and this is gonna sound biased because I'm a Rams fan, but when Brian Quick is healthy, he's a decent receiver,
Yeah.
and the Redskins added him this year too.
Josh Doxson's was their number 1 pick a year ago, and he's finally healthy.
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder's one of the better slot guys in the league. Probably to me right behind Jarvis as far as Jarvis and Edelman.
They got their
As far as
their
slot
tight
guys
end.
go. Jordan Reed's when he's on the field, he's an absolute difference maker.
Yep.
Then I got the Cowboys bringing up from behind. Zeke's 6-game suspension has a lot to do with that. We'll see if it sticks. But Dez is healthy, but outside Dez and Cole Beasley, they're a little shaky at the skill positions. Witten's another year older. They lost 2 starters on the offensive line. Dak could see a sophomore slump, and that defense is atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, Taco has been busting it up. He hasn't done anything really. Taco Charlton, right? No, I have the wrong person. Oh.
Yeah, he's on there.
I heard he wasn't doing very well, but maybe that was just for one.
I mean,
day.
they got Sean Lee. Sean Lee's, if he stays healthy, he's an excellent player when he's healthy, but he's always hurt.
Actually, I mean, widely regarded as one of the better linebackers in the league,
Yeah.
but he's never healthy.
He's always hurt. Jalen Smith, who knows with him,
Yeah.
his athleticism. I've watched a couple of games with him. He does not look like the same athlete as I saw when he was in Notre Dame.
Cowboys messed up not taking Jabril Peppers.
Oh gosh, come on.
Wait a minute. Did they even get a chance to get him? Yeah, they did get a chance to get him, didn't they?
They picked Taco
They
Charlton.
took Taco.
instead.
Yeah, they should have took Jabril. Well, you got to pick off Jameis.
Your boy thinks that Jabril shouldn't have been taken in the first round. Go ahead. Who you got? In this division?
It's really hard. It's similar to his. I got the Cowboys last.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to say that because of their season last year. But, I mean, they lost their whole secondary. Like we just said, Sean Lee's never healthy. Zeke's 6-game suspension, if, like you said, holds up. They're going to struggle a lot. My number 1 is the Giants still. But my thing is with the Redskins and the Eagles, I don't know who's going to take number 2. Both of them have potential to do it. Like I said, Kirk Cousins is playing for a huge contract because we just saw Matt Stafford get paid last night. right? And in my opinion, I think Kirk Cousins is better than Matt Stafford.
I
Well,
agree with you
didn't get to hear about
100%.
that when we were on live. I asked him because I saw it today. Matt Stafford against teams with a winning record is 5-34.
Yeah. And
I'm not a huge Matt Stafford guy.
I don't mind him. He's definitely not worth that much
No.
money. He hasn't done anything to get that money.
No.
Now, that being said, Kirk Cousins probably saw that last night and said, I'm going to get my money this year. That's the only thing that is holding me back from putting the Eagles at number 2, because he does have a good offense with him this year. The only question is the defense, if it's going to hold up. But I guess if I'm going to go with my gut, Washington's going to be number 2.
Alright.
But it's going to be very competitive.
That
division
NFC
this
East
year.
could easily have 3 teams in the playoffs again this year.
There's a lot of divisions that can have like 3 teams.
That's the
AFC
second
West.
best. That's the second best division in football. I mean, I think the NFC South is probably the most talented division.
Yeah, NFC South could have 3 teams in the playoffs. NFC East could have 3 teams
They
in
could
the
have
playoffs.
they could have 4 quarterbacks in the MVP race this year.
They
Yes, they
will
could.
have. They can.
They can.
They won't, but they can. Because I was saying they could, but then I was like, no, they won't. Jameis will throw for over 5,000 yards this year.
Will he continue with his interceptions though?
Not with him having to throw double coverage from Mike Evans.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
I-
sure
that's
if him
what I-
throwing for 5,000 yards is necessarily a good thing, though. I mean, that would imply that they're probably playing behind or the defense isn't very good.
Or the running game's not very.
That's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
because Drew Brees Drew Brees has a run game, but it's kind of like their defense is just bad.
That's historically bad. I mean,
Because Drew Brees throws for over 5,000 yards, and Mark Ingram quietly rushes for 1,000 yards, and you're like, how does that happen?
I tell you what, the sole reason for my fantasy team why I picked up Sam Bradford is because he plays New Orleans first game.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I don't want to start him because I don't dare start him over Kirk Cousins, but it's really hard not to. That defense is so bad.
Yeah.
Philly's defense is going to get after the quarterback, too. So.
Yeah, and with that, them getting to the quarterback, their secondary is going to look so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2 big college guys here, and I'm just the college guy. I'm just the guy who it's on. That's about it. I don't make a schedule around it. So, who are 2 college players? I did offense and defense. I don't know if you did because you always like to break the rules. But who is your 1 or 2 college players to watch for this year?
My one is Quentin Flowers.
Why is that?
Because man, he showed signs of being good last year. He's got a new good, not good head coach. He's got
a really good head
I
coach.
don't
I
like
don't
Charlie
care what-
Strong.
I don't care what
I
anyone
know.
says.
We're different with that.
Charlie Strong led the Louisville Cardinals to a game against Florida and blew up against Florida.
Okay.
So
We'll save that for a different discussion. 'Cause we're talking about Quentin Flowers.
all right.
In his last game, like we were talking about earlier, he had 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 70 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. And I mean,
That's a quiet night for him.
yeah, because me and you saw it firsthand.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's a quiet night for him.
I was telling everybody at work today, and they were looking at me like I was crazy, that he will be in the Heisman race at some point this year. Not saying he's going to be a finalist or he's even going to win it. I mean, he very well could, but it's like a 98% chance for me that he will be in the Heisman race this year. He's a perfect dual threat quarterback. And it doesn't work so well in the NFL being dual threat like that all the time. But I mean, college, especially in that weak conference that they're in, he's going to put up a lot of numbers.
When we go back to a game this year, I'll have to make sure I watch his throwing.
He looked good.
Because, when we were there, it was just the same play over and over again.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's either because he's a weak quarterback or they're exposing the defense on this one play over and over.
I mean, it worked out well for the Packers with Vince Lombardi. Just run the power sweep. Why
Yeah.
why change it up? They
Yeah.
don't stop it.
I guess that's a
If it ain't broke, don't fix
if it
it.
ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's USF's motto this year.
That's
For
so
offense.
that's the only player that you got this year.
Yeah, that's the only player I got this year.
You're such a jerk, dude. You never
know why?
you never listen.
You know why? You know why? Because Jabril's not here this year. Should have been.
I'm gonna ask you who you got for your 2.
Offensively, mentioned on live, I'm a huge Sam Darnold fan. That wasn't my guy to watch. My guy to watch is Saquon Barkley from Penn State.
Is that the running
guy,
back?
yes. I
Okay.
watched him torch us in the bowl game.
He's a
I
monster.
watched him eat up Ohio State. That
He-
guy, his freakish speed, he's got excellent footwork. His vision is A+. He will be a top 5 draft pick this year.
He torched us a couple times last year, even
Yeah.
though we beat the crap out of him. I mean, he played good against us. He was the only good player on Penn State against us last year.
I'll be honest, if he came out in this draft, he would have been my number 1 running back.
Really?
I think his
Well,
footwork
I
is.
can't remember really any other running backs that were.
Dalvin Cook, Christian
Yeah, but
McCaffrey.
I wouldn't have.
Leonard Fournette.
I'm not big on. I've already told you I'm not big on Christian McCaffrey
Well,
or
I know,
Leonard
I know.
Fournette. So I probably would have.
As far as talent goes in this draft that just passed, I had Joe Mixon was the most talented back. Told a couple of
Joe
guys
Mixon's
that work.
doing really good in Cincinnati
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Mixon's footwork, I mean, aside from the off the field, obviously you can't put your hands on females or anybody else for that matter.
That's true.
You can't do that, but as far as talent goes, he was the most talented back. And I liked him and Dalvin Cook as talent's better than Leonard Fournette. But off-field issues pushed him in the second round. Defensively, Harold Landry. He's a pass rusher from Boston College. I had a first-round grade on him before he decided not to come out. He's a top 10 pick this year. Bends the edge well, plays run well, uses his hands well. Watch some Boston College this year. You'll fall in love with him.
You wanted to say something on that.
Oh, I was just gonna say you're confusing me with a college guy. That's the college guy.
I know. That's
I love college football,
this is our.
but
This is our way much cooler Todd McShay.
there's a I know a lot.
Well, he needs to grow a beard.
Mel Kiper Jr.
They need beards.
Don't get me started on Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper's a joke, man. That guy. He doesn't even do his own research anymore. He has a scout team, and he just gets on TV
And they're still not right.
No.
See, I'm not like. So on live, he was talking about as an SC fan as he is, he was talking about Sam Darnold, and I was watching some highlights of him, and man, I feel like he's got the talent, but it's just his receivers bail him out a lot that I've seen. Like on the big plays that you see, like he's just making a move in the pocket and launches it up, and the receiver's like pulls a Caleb. Pushes the corner out the way, and
But that's why a lot of people thought Manziel was so good. He had Mike Evans to throw it up to.
and that's what I'm saying. Like I may be wrong. I want to see how Donald does this year, but depending on how he does this year, will determine obviously if he's going to be a number 1 draft pick, which I don't think he'll come out this year, like we were talking about. But I'm very skeptical. Like I got my eye on him just to see kind of what he does.
He's got some mechanical issues. I mean, he's got a little bit longer delivery than you'd like, but the guy has an absolute cannon. But I will tell you this: if you ball placement's everything. I mean, you give your receivers a chance. There's one throw in particular. It was a 3rd down play against Penn State, and they were behind, and he threw a ball on absolute rope.
Yeah.
And a guy double coverage on the sideline. And I think there's probably 2 NFL quarterbacks that can make that throw.
I've seen some of him I've seen some of the plays where he puts the ball placement, and it's great. And then I've seen others where it's like, good thing he made that jump ball pass, because it's like he's got great receivers behind him.
That's why he's still in college.
And he's a freshman.
And that's what I'm saying. He's a freshman. He's still got.
That's scary. He's going to get even better.
But being like he's first pick overall, I'm like, look, please, as a Jets fan, look, I can't take this man yet.
No.
You got 3 guys you'll be able to choose from, I think.
I gotta let him work it out first. I hope we don't go quarterback first. I hope we let Petty. I hope we let Petty ride it out. I really like Petty. Petty does a really good job. So, anyways, enough about the Jets. My 2 players that I have to watch for this year, completely biased. And I'm only saying that because they're really good low-key players who can put up big numbers this year.
So first offense, got to go with Western Kentucky University's quarterback, Mike White. Boy, it has an arm. Like, I'm talking an arm. Man was launching balls against Alabama. Even though it's Alabama, you can't really do anything against Alabama because it's Alabama. If you're not ranked in the top 10, you're not scoring on them. Yeah, that's just how it kind of goes. Or you're in the SEC. But like in bowl, like the past bowl game against, I think it was Marshall, man threw for over like 400 yards. You know, putting up Brandon Doughty numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Doughty was really good, but he just, you know, he had some mechanical issues. But I think that Mike White is a very good mobile, but not like Lamar Jackson mobile. But like if pocket starts to collapse, he can run and he can throw a shoulder and make sure, you know, he gets in and goes from there. I like Mike White. I think he'll do really good this year. Obviously, they'll be in another bowl game. They may be ranked like we were talking about FAU, 25, 24, 23 in that area. Because towards the end of the year, they're always close to being ranked.
Well, Western Kentucky's been on the come up lately.
They have. Because of the last two quarterbacks they've had was Brandon Doughty and then Mike White right now. Brandon Doughty did really good a couple years ago, you know, just launching that ball. And then they also had Bobby Rainey. Pretty sure they had Bobby Rainey as their running back.
Tampa Bay Bucks.
And Bobby Rainey did really good. And then for I can't remember his name because I had it on my phone, but I can't remember. The corner from Louisville, I think it's Jair Alexander. I think, or Jairus Alexander. I don't know. Man's like 5'11" and had like three or five picks last year. I mean, he had 2 picks against Deshaun Watson in the game against them. So, I mean, with all the coverage that he's been getting on, he's doing really good for playing in that conference. So I think it's Jair Alexander. And my boy Mike White from Western Kentucky University. Because, you know, I got to be biased in Louisville because I like Louisville. I've liked Louisville since I saw Teddy Bridgewater. And
I mean, I'm kind of being biased with USF too.
So once I saw Teddy Bridgewater, I was like, yo, this guy's the real deal. And he has been until he blew his knee out. And then when I went to West, like I lived in Bowling Green, so when I went to a Western Kentucky game, I was like, yo, I'm gonna, you know, keep up with this team. I'm just gonna see how they're doing every now and then.
Poor Teddy Two Gloves.
Poor Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah, fun fact about Teddy Bridgewater, he was committed to the University of Miami. Then Randy Shannon thought, hey, you should play corner or safety.
Oh, that makes sense.
Teddy Bridgewater was like, you know, I'm gonna head my.
I think I want to go to Louisville.
I'm gonna go to Louisville.
You know, I
See
know
how
I'm
that
from
works.
Miami and all, but you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. You know,
Just think of what Miami could have been.
Oh.
Don't remind me.
Oh,
it still hurts.
So, we'll go to the AFC East breakdown, and we all pretty much know how this is gonna run out. I mean, as a Patriots lover, as this guy is, as a diehard Jets fan and diehard
I'm not necessarily
Dolphins fan.
a Patriot lover.
You're a Tom Brady lover
Thank you.
who associates himself with the
Michigan.
Patriots.
Michigan.
So, I'll run it off. The Jets, number 1, 16-0.
Yeah. You got
I'm just telling my fantasies, all right? All right.
16 and 4.
Shut up! I'll punch you in the mouth. We got the Pats at number 1, but that just, I mean, I honestly don't want to say that because Tom Brady's on the Madden cover and he's gonna die. So, you know.
But the sad thing is even if he does get hurt, they can still be number 1
That'll be 8
because of Belichick.
No, they'll be 8-8 because. So, anyways, Pats at 1, Dolphins at 2. I mean, because the Jets or the Bills ain't gonna be number 2 unless Bryce Petty starts for us. Then we could be number 2. Jets at 3. Jets at 3, and Bills at 4. Jets will win 6 games this year. I've already said numerous times Jets will win 6 games this year, and I have to go with that. I mean, as a Jets fan, I'm looking at our schedule. Week 1 is against Buffalo in New York, in
New York?
in the Jets' home stadium. That's a win.
In New York City.
And then we go to Oakland, and if I know anything about Josh McCown, he's all about upsets. So we'll lose that game. Yeah.
You'll be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Week 3, we play the Dolphins, and the funny thing about the Dolphins is the Dolphins play Tampa week 1, then they go to the to LA Chargers week 2, then they fly to New York week 3, then they fly to London week 4. So I can easily see them losing against us because Jay Cutler is still learning the offense.
Not to mention that, you said y'all play them after the Chargers?
Yeah.
Okay. Jay Cutler might get beat up against the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because they got a great defensive line.
Yeah.
So
I could see
that's also a good thing.
I could see us potentially winning that game. So that's 2 wins right there. Then we play the Browns and the Jags. So that's 4 wins. Then we play Buffalo one more time. That's 5 wins. Then we play the Patriots the last game of the season. Tom Brady will be, benched second quarter. Beat the Patriots. 6 games. 6 games. I'm calling it. Watch. We win 6 games this year. I don't have to shave my beard.
I remember the best.
Oh, trust me. Well, we need to make sure that we follow up with him, by the way, that if they win 6 games, he has to shave his beard.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that, but
Yeah.
we can't just make a bet just on me.
On your behalf.
Yeah. All right, whoever wants to go next.
I'm going to go because this is real easy for me. Pats, Dolphins, Bills, Jets.
I'll punch you in the mouth. How do you even have the Bills above them? Tyrod Taylor might not even be playing this year.
Listen,
he might not even be playing game 1.
And I get that. The Bills could, what's it called? They could tank their season and they'll still have a better record than you.
You're drunk. You're so drunk.
That's how bad it is. I sat there and I watched you in frustration the other day when y'all played the Giants.
Yeah.
If y'all don't, okay. If
You
y'all
know why?
do not start Bryce Petty, because I'm a Petty believer with
Josh McCown starting.
Exactly. If
But-
y'all do not start Bryce Petty, y'all will be last in the division.
I disagree with you because Josh McCown, when he played in his first series against Tennessee, drove down the field for 80 yards, scored a touchdown. Right? It's Hackenberg who can't decide to function as an NFL quarterback.
And that's okay. But the McClown brothers have a horrible thing where they play great for 2 games. Great.
Yeah, but do
And
you know
then
what
they
happens?
just fall off and then they get replaced.
No. You know what happens? You know why they fall off? They get hurt. So guess who will be coming up as number 2? Bryce Petty. Christian Hackenberg is sitting at number 3 right now. Bryce Petty will come in and Bryce Petty will be like, just like last year. I'll win a couple games for us. 6 games. Suck it, Caleb.
I'm not saying that y'all are going to be way behind the Bills. The Bills will win 4 games, y'all win 3.
Don't talk to me. I'm not going to that.
2 of those games
I'm not-
against the Patriots.
Yeah, that's our Super Bowl. That's like 5 wins right there.
Well, hey, no, Caleb said the Patriots count as 2, right?
Yeah, he said that if we win 4 games, yeah, because he said that was basically our Super Bowl. So he said if we win 4 games and 1 against the Patriots, then that counts as 6.
We're gonna float and have a Super Bowl parade for
Yeah.
sweeping the Pats.
Man, trust me, man. I'm gonna come. I don't even know Pats fans, but I will look at every Pats fan, tell them to suck it.
Y'all are in the semi-pro boat. Y'all have seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
We're at number 4. We're at number 4. Just start flipping over cop cars, and the cops are the ones doing it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of ironic that Hackenberg is a hack and his name indeed starts with hack.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's terrible.
He is.
Awful, man.
It's almost sad. I almost feel bad for you.
Awful, man. I told you I wasn't buying the hype back then, and I am a firm Petty believer. I really think Bryce Petty has what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. Everyone said, he needs to sit a whole year. He sat a whole year. He sat a whole year and a half. And then came out last year and had some really good flashes. But like we said, Brandon Marshall is a jerk.
It makes me really sad to think that, if in high school, if I would have really applied myself, I could be making like $200,000 holding a clipboard very well.
It makes me upset that I could be very well making, 6 figures, and my name would be Christian Hackenberg right now.
Christian
Hold on to
Hackenberg should be in
clipboard.
prison because he's stealing money at this point.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
I remember when he was getting ready to come out the year before he came out, and all these draft experts had him as like a top 10 pick for a while. I'm like, what games do they watch?
Oh man. How do you got the conference or the division going down?
Pat's number 1. They have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and that'll never change until somebody retires or dies.
Hopefully,
honestly,
honestly,
I'll go with either. I'm not picky. I'm kidding, but
no, we're not. Look, man, as a Christian man, I do not wish death or injury on anyone unless
except for Tom Brady.
Unless your name is Tom Brady.
Dolphins second. I actually think Jay Cutler's an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, no doubt.
Tannehill obviously moves better, but Cutler's got a big arm, knows the offense. He's just learning the verbiage since it's that's probably the only thing that's changed. The schemes are still the same.
You know the good thing about that too, sorry to cut you off,
you're good.
is Jay Cutler works out for you guys. A lot of people for some reason believe in Tannehill. Y'all could use him for great trade bait.
Yeah.
Great trade bait.
The wonderful thing with Tannehill is watching Matthew Stafford get this monster contract makes me laugh because honestly he's not that much better than a Ryan Tannehill or really even a Tyrod Taylor.
Andy Dalton.
And to me, Andy Dalton's a superior player to Matthew Stafford.
Right,
I mean,
right.
aside from the pure arm talent, I mean, Andy Dalton gets to the playoffs every year.
Red pistol.
Red rifle.
Yeah.
Red rifle.
JJ Watt, Red Rifle.
And I'll give the Jets the edge over Buffalo just for the simple fact that I think their defense is a lot better.
Dang right it is.
Buffalo,
Especially when we pick up Joe Hayden.
Color and rebuilding.
I think Buffalo's got better weapons on offense, but the Jets defense, I think the Jets will try to run the ball, play defense.
Dang
So,
right we will. Bilal Powell's the real deal.
So the secondary doesn't get
LG.
exposed.
LG. all
Plus,
day.
I mean, they did add 2 rookie safeties, which will have some good moments, but they will also have some what the heck just happens.
Yeah, you'll also have to be like, why did you make that tackle? Why did you do that?
So I think their defense will keep them in some games. I think I'll put the Jets third and Buffalo dead last. And I also...
Fighting for third.
Fight for third, man. I'll do what I can. Hey, you were just afraid of him a minute ago. Dash has the Jets winning the division. This is why he's a dog.
This is why you don't do podcasts.
Yeah. Dash once told me that his favorite player was Michael Vick, and I said, "Well, you might want to change players, but
Want to spend the night?
your favorite player should not be Michael Vick. You should look after someone else."
I mean, I thought Michael Vick should have, coached the Bulldogs. I think that would have been great for their spirit.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I don't have any. I can't think of any other final things to close us out. You got anything to close us out? Any last tidbit of information you want to throw out?
Not this week.
Not this week.
Not this week.
What about you, DBG? You got anything to tell people to look out for, watch out for, that you can think of?
What bold prediction for you? The Cleveland Browns will not lose 10 games this year.
Oh, I could.
Yeah, you know what? Every podcast, let's have a bold prediction.
All right. From everyone, or just from one person?
Just one bold prediction
All right.
each podcast. What was mine last week? I forgot.
I don't know, but
It was pretty bold.
we'll have to go back and watch
It was something about winning a division. Well, I'm gonna find that.
It's not on there. It's not in there. Yeah.
I'm not gonna find that.
Like I said, you'll have to watch it. Yeah, I mean, I like that. That's a pretty bold prediction. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything else. Gears turning, or are you done? And gears turning, or are you done?
What does this face tell you?
That's a done face.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, once again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you guys check us out next week. Comment, like, share, all that jazz. Check us out on Facebook Live before we do the podcast. And I think that's about it from us.
Yeah, make sure to check out Pro Sports Room on Facebook and check out Red Hot Sports on
Red Hot
Facebook too.
Sports.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and share the page on Facebook when we drop this video. So, yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next week.
Easy.
Boom!